What if I told you all these quotes are actually 2020 Democratic candidates' quotes?
Oh.
I'm Cabot Phillips with Campus Reform. This week, President Trump is giving his fourth State of the Union address. I'm in Washington, D.C., getting college students' opinions on quotes from that address. But what they don't know is that all the quotes are actually from 2020 Democratic candidates for president. Will that change their mind? Let's find out. The White House released an early transcript of the State of the Union. Going to get your reaction to a few of the more controversial quotes.
Okay.
Talking to black voters, trying to win their support, saying, quote, "The other side is going to put y'all back in chains." What do you think of that one?
That's inappropriate. That should not be spoken like that.
I mean, I think that's just flat out racist.
Nah, that's pretty horrendous.
We should get a new president, probably. We shouldn't have someone like that as a role model for kids.
I don't think anyone is trying to do that.
Talking about North Korea, this administration's success will be judged on whether we can eliminate North Korea's nuclear weapons and verify they're gone once and for all.
Well, that sounds very threatening, as if we're going to be executing him completely.
That it's warmongering, and I also think that there's other things to focus on with North Korea than just nuclear weapons.
I think it would be warmongering, but also it's just a part of his rhetoric to assert dominance and assert American exceptionalism, things like that. So it doesn't really surprise me that he said something like that.
Knowing him, he's very irrational. And,
Yeah.
I'd say slightly inaccurate.
Next up, talking about inner city violence and gun violence, saying, quote, "Those kids think they're going to get killed anyway because all their friends are getting killed. They just don't have any long-term focus or anything. It's a joke to have a gun. It's a joke to pull the trigger to them."
Yeah, so, I mean, he's saying that because these are communities of people of color, and it's not even veiled racism, it's just racism.
That's flat out ridiculous and very just not appropriate language, I feel like.
This video so far is very interesting. I really want to see how this is going to turn out near the end when he reveals to them who really said these quotes, because the NPC and the programming is so strong in these students, and it's just very interesting to see. And I want to see what they're going to say once he reveals who really said these quotes.
Oh, what?
I think that's pretty unrealistic.
To kind of put all the blame for gun violence on those kids and not the people who are manufacturing them and the people who are selling them is an issue in and of itself.
I feel like that's really belittling to the people in those areas to say, oh, they don't care, when there are many people who are trying to better their situation.
Next up, talking about Israel-Palestine, obviously hot button issue for a lot of people. Quote, "When Palestine and Hamas put rocket launchers next to hospitals and schools, they're using civilians to protect their military. I believe Israel has a right at that point to defend itself." What's your take?
I think he needs to use more peaceful language, and I think it needs to be taken care of in a more peaceful, diplomatic way.
I'm very pacifist, so I really don't support war, so I don't support any of that at all.
Using that kind of language is very charged.
He has Israel messed up. I mean, and a lot of people do, but him especially. I mean, Israel isn't the one that we should be backing at all.
What if I told you all these quotes are actually 2020 Democratic candidates' quotes?
Oh, I would believe you.
They are.
interesting.
Is that surprising?
Yeah.
These are actually all quotes from Democratic candidates in 2020.
Oh, interesting.
What do you think of that?
I don't know.
What if I told you these are actually all quotes from Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, and other
really?
Democrat candidates?
Who said the chains one?
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden said that.
Yeah.
I did not know that they said that.
The In Chains one, it makes more sense in that context now, and whoever said that, that is concerning and not something
Joe
I
Biden.
agree with. Not shocking.
Are you surprised by that, by the quotes? What's your take on that?
Yeah.
I think that everybody I feel like everyone's a hypocrite at some point, a little bit.
We label who has these thoughts, and if you're a Democrat you should think this way, and if you're a Republican you think a certain way. But I think sometimes there are overlapping beliefs that we kind of overlook.
But I think that initially I'm like, oh, he said it, let me find something bad about it. So yeah, I think that is fair.
Twitter informs a lot of my political decisions. I mean, Twitter informs a lot of my decisions, period. Twitter is great. I love Twitter, but it's definitely...
You've got to be kidding me. He just said Twitter informs a lot, if not all, of his decisions. That's all you need to know about the state of society and the state of the West. And I'm not surprised, but as I usually say, I'm surprised by the fact that these people are misinformed and they just go with what the popular media tells them to go with. It's amazing to see this in 4K, 180p, how these students really get their information and they will go with it as if they have the truth when they really do not. It's very interesting.
Definitely radicalized me to the left a lot more than I think that I was.
I mean, it's all stuff that we kind of associate with the other side, at least. From my understanding, again, the school is mostly liberal.
Yeah, I think often some people would look at what you just said and say, like, oh, my candidate didn't say that, or, you know, like they would never have done that in the past. But I think that, like, everyone's opinions change and, like, everybody says questionable things now and then, and I think that it's beneficial to accept that.
I think people are very like, okay, if it's what this person is saying, I'm going to find a way to make it bad. And if it's someone that I want to support, then maybe I can find a way to make it sound good.
What they were saying at the end is pretty much true. But I find that to be a lot of the times what the left do. Although even people on the right do it as well. Yeah, when they hear something, they associate with a certain person or a certain group of people. But it was just interesting to see them believe it was actually Trump that said those things and the things they said. But we all know what's going to happen. They're going to go about their day and they're still going to vote the way they vote. And they're not going to look up any more information than they already do. And if they do, kudos to them. But I don't think they will. They'll just keep doing what they do. Keep being programmed by media and how the media wants to continue to program them. And that's just how it continues to go, unfortunately. But anyway, that was another video, another reaction. As I usually say, if you guys enjoyed the video, like the video as much as possible. Comment down below if you guys enjoyed the video as well. I'll reply to as many comments as possible. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at YinkaThatGuy. And I am out.